we've identified 3 priority areas and 3 actions, and in order of the priority, the first one is we felt that the economy section as it was is very light on data itself. The actual data are quite limited, and there are reasons for that, of course, but we think that there needs to be far more emphasis put on data gathering in order to understand the basic issues and challenges. And in particular, we thought of what partners there could be that could provide that without Wiltshire Council having to do all the work itself. And the obvious one would be the Federation of Small Businesses, which has got thousands of members locally, and so by a simple postcode search we'd be able to get far more basic data into the data set. We could also look at local chambers of commerce and also Rotaries and other organisations. So I think there's lots of opportunity to improve the data gathering. The second area that we thought needed addressing was the analysis, the actual depth of analysis. It's quite light at the moment, and once you start drilling down, there are many interrelated issues. So, for instance, when talking about jobs, we need to look at access to jobs. If one has a bunch of people here and a bunch of jobs there, there's got to be some easy connection between the two, otherwise it's not a direct match. And sometimes jobs and people are created in the places where neither are, and it doesn't really help. I think a far more integrated planning is needed in terms of the economy. A classic example would be the housing associations. They're in every community, and they actually create employment locally, or they couldn't create employment locally. And so to match those two together would be a no-brainer and very simple to do. The third one is a local review of this kind of document. We felt that it was a bit too raw, a bit too rough around the edges to come to a public forum at this stage, and rather we should have this kind of session more intimately done with local representatives first before coming to a more final draft as it is at the present. So we felt a local review first before the presentation of this kind of thing. And it would also make it tighter. And one example would be that Cricklade has been identified in the Wiltshire core strategy as a local service centre, yet needs a retail strategy, yet doesn't have one. So I think that's an easy one to fix. But these kinds of things would come up with local working. They would come to the top and be simple to put in. And that would make local flavour far more relevant to this kind of document. And that's what's key. People need to own it. And so it needs to be local. Thank you very much.
We've got children not in training or education. So in order to be able to deal with that priority, we've come up with an action point to ask the Chamber of Commerce to host a local businesses day to inform an apprenticeship programme. In order to support child poverty, which was one of the issues, we've looked at 3 school meals. Now, many of the schools use 3 school meals as an opportunity to understand child deprivation and those vulnerable families. The difficulty is that not all families that should be on free school meals apply for free school meals, so they end up missing out on a number of opportunities. So it was suggested that rather than families apply for free school meals, that actually everybody, when they return to school after the summer holidays, completes an application form, and the school then identifies as to whether or not they match the criteria. That way we can raise that particular profile and target our vulnerable children. And the third action point that we have used to help support the issues around maths and English is to engage with families to educate them on how to best support their children in maths and English. But ultimately it's about going to consultation to find out how we can best help them to best help the children. And that were our 3 points. Thank you.